Looking larger than life with each masterful performance, Dan Marino guided the Miami Dolphins into the AFC Championship Game with sights set on a coveted berth in Super Bowl 19. Visions of Palo Alto grew clear when Marino spotted Mark Clayton streaking down the sidelines. While Clayton easily beat his defenders on this 40-yard touchdown, the Steelers knew the only way they could beat Miami would be to control the ball and keep Marino on the sidelines. The game plan was to ram the ball down the Dolphins' throats and watch their defense choke like Denver's did the previous week. Pittsburgh did indeed chew up the clock and pile up the rushing yardage en route to number 24, Rich Ehrenberg's 7-yard run to tie the score at 7 apiece. Ehrenberg held tightly to the ball as he burst up the middle. But when his Dolphin counterpart, Tony Nathan, took a Marino strike over the middle, number 22 didn't have the same success. Actually, turnovers plagued both teams in the first half, with the ball being coughed up 6 times. When Miami put pressure on quarterback Mark Malone, you could be sure an errant pass would soon follow. Number 47, Glenn Blackwood, made Malone awfully sorry he threw the ball, as well as 2 others which were also picked off in the first 2 periods. Even when the quarterback received solid pass protection, he was victimized by an alert Dolphins secondary, which turned intercepting the ball into a family affair. Malone must have thought he was seeing double when the other half of the Bruise brothers, Lyle Blackwood, number 42, inflicted the same larcenous act moments later. But Malone put forth his best Dan Marino imitation as he remained undaunted and successfully bombarded the Dolphin defense with a perfect pass to John Stallworth, number 82. Unanimous choice as comeback player of the year, Stallworth put the Steelers right back in the game with a 14-10 lead. The 65-yard reception, his 11th in the playoffs, also placed Stallworth first in the NFL record books for career postseason scores. But this season, when you talk about the NFL record books, it is Dan Marino's name which inevitably turns up. Even when the Steelers pressured him, Marino's quick release enabled him to avoid a sack. Though certainly not quick like a cat, Marino always manages to land on his feet in the face of adversity. With a hungry defense ready to pounce on Marino at any moment, and Pittsburgh having held the lead for a whole minute and a half, number 13 proceeded to prey upon the unlucky Steelers secondary and pick apart the single coverages unwisely afforded to his receivers. With Mark Clayton sidelined with a sprained shoulder, Marino connected with his other magic marker, the forgotten man of late, Mark Duper, whose 41-yard score was only his 2nd touchdown in 11 games. In both Clayton and Duper's shadow, but nearly as dangerous as number 81, Jimmy Cephalo. Although Cephalo's touchdown was subsequently nullified, Marino shrugged it off and immediately eyed the end zone again, firing one of his patented bullets unbelievably past 2 defenders. When Joe Rose, number 80, came up short of the goal line, Tony Nathan applied the finishing touches to the first half scoring picture with his 2-yard plunge. Boasting a 24-14 lead at the half, the Dolphins could already taste the sweetness of victory, while the Steelers experienced the bitterness of giving up 14 unanswered points in less than 3 minutes. But that's to be expected from this finely tuned Marino-led offense, which runs on equal parts supreme confidence and superb coaching. With his team down 10 points at the half, Chuck Noll had to wonder if it was possible to stop Miami. The answer came through the skies. After throwing for over 240 yards in the first 2 quarters, Dan Marino began the third with a 24-yard needle threaded to set back Tony Nathan. Then 4 snaps into the new half, number 85 Mark Duper and his peerless partner wearing number 13 provided further proof that the Steeler defense was in deep trouble. Duper's long and lonely touchdown catch put the Dolphins in front by 17 points, 31-14. Prior to the game, Marino said he looked forward to seeing a Steeler blitz, where it would give him an opportunity to pull off a big play. Another view of the touchdown bomb reveals an all-out blitz by the Steel Curtain. It fazed Marino not a bit, as he easily exploited it, lofting the ball to Duper, who predictably had outrun the resulting single coverage. The Steelers gambled and lost. Now in danger of a blowout, Pittsburgh broke the huddle for their first offensive try of the second half, hunkered down to business, and came flying right back in the face of the Dolphin defense. Mark Malone had completed 9 passes in the first half. Unfortunately, 3 went to members of the Dolphin defense. Now on this third quarter drive, Malone hit 5 of 6, including a pretty touchdown to John Stallworth. As he had all afternoon, Malone had ample time to throw, but it was the great athletic skills of number 82 that accounted for the touchdown. Stallworth's second touchdown catch of the day brought his NFL postseason record to an even dozen, a worthy honor for the 11-year veteran who is one of the last remaining vestiges of the Steelers' Super Bowl teams. Now, with the losing margin reduced again to a workable 10 points, it was left to the new Steel Curtain to accomplish the impossible, called Miami's mastery of the air. To say their mission failed would be an understatement. Operating under perfect protection all afternoon, he wasn't sacked once. Marino would hit on 21 of 32 passes. The Steelers' secondary got their customary licks in, but always too late. On Miami's second series of the third quarter, a blitz by number 58 Jack Lambert vividly demonstrates how Marino's arm challenges a defense, even with a legend in his face. As the Dolphins drove downfield on their way to their 4th consecutive touchdown, Pittsburgh must have realized, if they didn't know already, there was no stopping Miami's air attack. Finally, on the first series of the final quarter, Marino's men scored the touchdown that put the game squarely out of Pittsburgh's reach. Like the trio of touchdown tosses that preceded it, Marino perfectly placed the pass to a gifted receiver, this time number 89, Nat Moore. For the Dolphins, it was a 5th straight series resulting in a touchdown. Moore, the player who scored it, is further evidence, along with Jimmy Cephalo, of the deep reservoir of talent that sits on the Miami bench. But it was for the man with the golden arm, Dan Marino, who passed for an AFC Championship record 421 yards plus a quartet of touchdowns, that the spotlight shined brightest on this sun-dappled day in southern Florida. The rest of the game belonged to the Dolphin defense. They had been burned badly most of the afternoon, but now applied the finishing touches on Pittsburgh's vain attempt at a rally. Mark Malone had several passes swatted down in his own backfield. But food for thought was the fact that Miami's killer bees had been stung for 455 yards of total offense and 4 touchdowns, including this meaningless score with only 25 seconds left on a pass from Malone to number 80, Wayne Capers. The Steelers' 28 points were enough to win most playoff games, but suddenly Pittsburgh's season of surprise was over, ended by a Miami team that sports one of the most impressive attacks in football history. For Miami, the 45-28 victory was their 16th in 18 games this season, and their 5th straight win in the same number of championship games. Because of a young quarterback who continues to rise to every possible occasion, the Dolphins are the champions of the AFC and will play in their 5th Super Bowl in a dream match made in heaven.